When we think of modern era greats in Muay Thai, who do we think of? Probably Yothin, Supalek, and Tamanchai. But what if I told you there was another? One that was tearing through the Rajadam World Series scene. One that was nicknamed the King of Muay Khao. I present to you Yothin FA Group with 103 wins, 27 losses, and excellent wins over Chyla, Samingdet, Kupayak, and Jamod. Yothin FA Group is one of the world's best clinch fighters, arguably the world's best clinch fighter in current day Muay Thai. So, let's take a look at what makes Yothin FA Group a modern era genius and why he got the nickname the King of Muay Khao. What makes Yothin so good is his elbows, his unique right kick, his right hand, his stance switching, and the signature of his game, his incredible clinch. So, let's take a look at elbows first. In one of his more recent fights against Andreas, we see Yothin have a collar tie bicep control. He drives in a right knee, which gets Andreas's left hand down, and as Andreas is backing up out of the clinch, Yothin just slams that right spear elbow in and sends Andreas to the mat. Then, again, Yothin starts controlling the hands on the outside to bring Andreas' guard a bit more open, and again, Yothin slots in the spear elbow, and in the finishing sequence, Yothin controls the hands, steps through on his stance to get more power, and drives in the left elbow, finishing off Andreas. Really, really impressive stuff, and really quite brutal from Yothin. Against Bird Songkham, we saw him again use the rear check to step through on his stance and pull down the hands and slot in an elbow. We see him do this a couple times in this fight, and eventually leads to the fight being stopped by a cut. But just pretty bread and butter using the check to get in for the elbows. Now in the stadiums, we see him do a pretty similar thing. Step in with the check, he uses the same check side, spear in a right elbow, and he actually sweeps out his opponent and knees him on the way down. Just pretty slick stuff. In another fight on RWS, his opponent Petchachai was really quite aggressive with the punches, so Yothin, instead of being forward and aggressive with the checks to step through to elbow, he simply just controlled the hands while being planted on his feet and elbowed as Petchachai stepped in. He did this multiple times through the fight, causing a massive gash on his lip and over his eye, and he just did this plenty in the fight. Just as soon as Petchachai came in, nails him with the elbow, and this eventually led to Petchachai walking into a really clean elbow, and the ref just stopped it while standing just because of the damage on his face. Just really quite brutal. Yothin, despite being a Muay Khao fighter, has a very, very good and very, very unique right kick. He'll often, from orthodox, bring his feet very close together, almost parallel. Like he'll fake the kick and then throw it, mixing up the timing to catch his opponents off guard. And, even from southpaw, he will still uncork a step-up right kick instead of favouring the left kick like many southpaws do. The nature of his kick, while it has quite a bit less power, it's very good for scoring, and it's really, really quite sneaky. And I think that's one of the things about Yothin that's so good. While he isn't particularly deadly, he has a range of very technical techniques that allow him to score very effectively. It's really quite impressive, and his right kick is a perfect example of it. Right hand. Again, despite being a Muay Khao fighter, Yothin has very, very good hands, and when he decides to let them go, he lets them go, and he lets them go hard, and it's really quite beautiful to watch. He mixes up his right hand a lot. He loves just a tapping right straight to the body to score, often taking off an angle when someone tries to check, or he'll simply catch a kick or parry away kick and pummel the right hand over the top. He does this quite a lot in his fights. or he will use a stepping right hand to enter the clinch, or just to ankle off. Just really good boxing. It's a very underrated part of Yothin's game. Stance switching. Yothin, although primarily a southpaw, often does switch stances in his fights, not just for step and elbows, but if his opponent is quite aggressive and he wants to play more of a technical Muay Thai type of style, he will often switch to southpaw. He likes the step and right kick and a solid right teep. When in southpaw, still favourite his right side. He also does still love the elbows, spear elbows from the lead side, and step and left elbows he will constantly use. However, in fights where he wants to be aggressive, like Ayad Al-Dari, he just pushes forward and just bullies Ayad. It's really quite a rare thing from Yothin, but it was really quite incredible to watch when I was making this video. As you can see, he just step through elbow, step through right hand, step through clinch, and just bullying people using the stance wishes to cover distance. Clinch. Yothin isn't called the king of Muay Khao for no reason. He is widely regarded as the best clinch fighter as of today in Muay Thai. His clinch is outstanding. It is fundamental, it is technically sound, and he is just excellent at everything he does in the clinch. He's amazing at baiting out knees to perform sweeps using a collar tie and excellent head positioning. Just having superior timing, excellent off balances, landing great knees of his own, landing great elbows of his own, excellent hand trapping. He is just, without a doubt, amazing in the clinch, and it's truly, truly incredible to watch. And it's really impressive seeing this not only against foreigners, but against Thai fighters where they are also quite proficient in the clinch. Yothin is very unique as a clinch fighter, as he's not aggressive. He's really not. He has the temperament of a female fighter, but in the clinch, he just executes everything so well, and it is beautiful. I had the privilege of attending one of his seminars in Australia, and I just learned so much about the clinch. He has excellent locks, he has an excellent stance in the clinch, great balance, his timing and his knees are superb, and really, there's nothing I can say to just truly highlight how good his clinch is, and that's why as I'm talking, I want you guys to just sit and watch and observe just all of the techniques in the clinch. I really want you to focus on the head positioning, the use of collar ties, baiting out knees, using your own knee to bait out your opponent's knee, and then sweeping. And there's also a really nice sequence here where he'll off balance his opponent, throw a kick to the head, and step with an elbow, just really, really clean. But just his clinch is so damn good. And it's really disappointing because in RWS, he actually has really gone away from the clinch. He got his nickname in the stadium, so that's why most of the footage I am showing now is from stadium fights. So if you do want to have a look at his clinch and watch his clinch highlights, Boxing and Wallaby Workshop has excellent videos on his Muay Khao skills and just his clinching work overall. While his RWS career really focuses on things I talked about before, the elbows, the right kick, the punches, and just more of a female style. Now for some fights that I'd recommend watching if you're interested in watching more of Yothin. Yothin versus Andreas Unzu, which was the elbow KO I showed at the start of the video. Yothin versus Petchachai, the step and elbow that got stopped by doctor's stoppage. Yothin versus Ayad Al-Dari, just really highlighting Yothin's ability to put pressure on his opponent and just bully them. That was a decision. Yothin versus Chyla, the RWS match. A bit slower paced, a bit more technical, but very impressive nonetheless. Yothin versus Petrangru, 1 and 2, both by decision, just very good technical fights. And then any of the Boxing Wallaby Workshop highlights of Yothin are just really excellent watches. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. I hope you learned something new about Yothin. Please do go check out some of his stuff. He's a really excellent fighter. He's a really nice guy. And anyway, guys, see ya.